right? So good morning. I am Sunanda, Assistant Professor, Computer Science and Engineering Department, G. Pullareddy Engineering College. I am going to deal with the Python loop control statements in this video. So coming to the loop control statements, these statements mainly help to control the execution or the flow of the loop iterations. So here the loops are nothing but based upon the condition, the repetition of execution of the statements will be done. So loops help us to execute a set of statements repeatedly. So if you want to come out of the loop, and you have to wait until the condition becomes false. So instead of waiting, if you want to exit from the loop, then in such cases you will be using these loop control statements. So as the name indicates, the control statements which comes within the loop, we are calling them as loop control statements. These statements mainly come in use in the loop statements. Loop control statements change the execution from its normal sequence. When the execution leaves a scope, all the automatic objects that were created in that scope are destroyed. So Python support following control statements. We have a break statement, continue statement, and pass statement. So we don't have the goto statement here. So goto is not available in Python. So break statement, as the name indicates, it is used to break a loop. So it terminates the loop statement and transfer the execution to the statement immediately following the loop. And coming to the continue statement, it will skip an iteration and it will continue with the loop again and again. Causes the loop to skip the remainder of its body and immediately retest its condition prior to reiterating. That is the use of continue statement. And coming to the pass statement, which is only available in Python, which is used mainly as a placeholder. So the pass statement in Python is used when the statement is required syntactically, but you do not want any command or a code to execute. That means if you are unable to write your program or continue with the program execution, then in such case you can just mention the pass and then you can execute your code what you have written so far. The interpreter does not give any error. It will give the output for the code which you have written so far and it will pass the interpretation or the execution to the next statements available or to the next program, right? So this is regarding the pass statement. In detail with the break statement. So the break statement is used for premature termination of current loop. Why we are mentioning premature here is because whenever you have mentioned a loop based upon the condition, the loop will be executed. But if you want to stop the execution of the loop in the middle at some moment, then in such case you will be using break. So break will use to premature termination of the current loop. So after abdomen, after some time, right? So after stopping the loop, if the execution at the next statement will be resumed, just like the traditional break statement in C. So the most common use of the break is when some external condition is triggered requiring hasty exit from the loop. In such case, you can use a break. The break statement can be used both in the while as well as the for loops. If you are using the nested loops, that means loop within the loop, the break statement stops the execution of the innermost loop first and starts executing the next line of the code after the block. The best syntax for the break is just you can use a break keyword automatically the loop will be exited. So this is a flow chart for using the break. So first loop, within the loop test condition will be executed. That means the test condition will be checked. If the condition is true, then if you have any break statement over it, then it comes out of the loop. If the condition is false, it will exit. If you don't have any break statement, then it goes with the iteration of the loop again and again. So let us see a simple syntax. So how we can use it in for as well as a while. For var in sequence. So now var will be checked whether member of a sequence or not. If it is a member, condition is true, so entering into the loop, then we will be checked with the another condition. If this condition is satisfied, and then we will be coming out, exiting from the loop. If this condition is false, then the loop will be iterate again and again, right? So if it is a break statement, if interpreter encounters a break, the execution will exit itself. That means it will halt there itself. It comes out of the loop, and whatever the code we have outside of the loop will be executed. So coming to the while, we will be having the test expression, which will be evaluated to the true or false. If it is true, then it goes into the loop where we have to check with the condition. If the condition is satisfied and if it traces a break, then it exits from the loop. If there is no break, it continues with the loop statements. That means iteration will be continued until this test expression is false. Right? So let us see a simple example which we have seen earlier itself. So for letter in Python, first letter will be initialized with P character. So it is a member of the Python string, right? Condition is true, and now entering into the loop, these are all the statements we have in the loop. So here it will check with the condition if letter equal to H. So whatever the variable we are using in the for loop, the same variable we have to use in the condition checking for the break also. The letter, that means P equal to H, the condition is false. So the condition is false, so it comes out of this statement. So it will print this statement, current letter P will be printed. Now again it go back here itself. Now the letter will be initialized with Y. So Y equal to H, condition false, so it will print current letter Y. Next again letter will be initialized with T, right? So T equal to H, condition is false, so it goes and print current letter T. Now letter equal to H. It within the loop, it will check with the condition. H equal to H, condition is true. So break is being encountered. Now this statement will not be executed, it comes out of the loop. The statement outside the loop will be printed now. So remember that when this condition is true, when the break is encountered, the loop will be exited. If the until this condition is false, until the break is not encountered, then the loop statements will be executed repeatedly. If it encounters a break, then the loop will be exited. So this is how the break statement will be working with the loops. Next we will be seeing the break with while, right? So first I am considering a variable var equal to 10, var greater than 0. So 10 is greater than 0, condition is true, right? So now condition is true, so it will print the current variable 10 will be printed. Now var will be decrementing, so now it will become 9. So after 9 it will check with the condition, like saying var equal to 5. That means 9 equal to 5, condition is false, so it goes back. So it won't execute this statement, so it goes back and it will check with the condition. 9 greater than 0, condition is true, so it will print 9. Now var value will be the 8. So 8 equal to 5, condition is false, so the break will not be encountered, so it goes back. Now var value will be checked with greater than 0, condition is true. Now var value will become the 7. 7 greater than 0 condition is true. So it will print 7 for me. After 8 it will print 7. Now it will, after that it will be decremented to 6. Then it will check 7 equal to 5 condition false. Next 6 equal to 5 condition is false. 6 greater than 0 condition is false. So 6 will be printed. Now var value will become as 5. Now 5 equal to 5 condition is true. So within this particular, as the condition is true, the suit for this is break. So it has been encountered the break. Interpreter has encountered the break. So it won't go back again. So it come out of the loop. So what is the statement we have outside the loop? Comes out of the loop. It will be printed. How we can know the statement which is outside of the loop? So based upon the indentation, the while has W has started, the same line, the statement outside the loop should also start. This indicates that this is not a suit of the while. Right? So this is usage of the break using the for loop and while loop. Next we go with the continue. So this is also a control statement which will control both the loops, while as well as the for loop. The continue statement in Python returns a control to the beginning of the current loop. So it won't exit, but it goes back to the loop again. When encountered, the loop starts the next iteration without executing the remaining statements in the current iteration. So syntax is you have to use continue keyword. Right? So here this is a syntax flow chart. We will be testing with the condition. Test expression of the loop will be checked. If it is true, then if there is any continue, then the next statements within the loop will be not executed. It goes to the loop again. So it continues with the loop, skipping the current iteration. Right? So let us see example. First, var in the sequence, condition is true. So next it will check with the condition. If this condition is true, then the continue will be encountered. So the statements in the loop will not be executed. It goes to the next iteration. The same here in the while also. Test expression will be evaluated. If it is true, entering into the loop. If condition will be checked here. If this condition is true, continue will be encountered. Then the loop statements will not be executed. It will continue with the loop. So here it will just skip one single iteration. So it won't exit, but it goes back to the loop. Right? So let us see the same example. Initially, the letter will be initialized with the P. So P in Python, the condition is true. So entering into the loop. So P equal to H. So the condition is false. So this continue will not be encountered. So that's why it goes to the next line within the loop, that it print Python. P will be printed. Next letter will be initialized to Y. So Y equal to H. Wrong. So it goes back. So it will print letter as Y. Next letter will be initialized with T. So equal to H, false. So it will print letter T. Next letter equal to H, which is equal to H. So condition is true. The condition is true. So the continue is being encountered. Yes. So that's why this line will not be executed. After the continue, it goes back to the iteration. The statement within the loop will not be executed if the interpreter encounters a continue. So it just skip the iteration. It goes back to the loop again, and it will go to the next iteration. Now the letter will be equal to the O. Equal to H, condition false. So it will print O. So letter equal to N. Equal to H, condition false. So it will print N. So only at this particular step, where H equal to H, this particular current letter will not be printed. In all other cases, as this condition is false, it won't encounter the continue. So it has been printing all other letters other than the H. Right? So in the same way, if I keep a break here. So what happens now? So if I keep break, automatically after the T, these two will not be executed. These two will not be printed if I keep break. So that means if the condition is true, it will encounter, interpreter will encounter the break. So the iteration loop statements will be exited, will not be executed. So up to the T only it will print. So as I mentioned, continue only for this specific condition the loop statement will not be executed, and for remaining all it will be executed and it will be printing the output like this, right? So the same program using the while. So continue using while. How we can? So just I have taken a variable 10 greater than, it will check with 10 greater than 0, condition is true. So that's why entering. Now variable will become as 9. Variable first 10, now it become as 9. So variable equal to 5, 10 equal to 5, condition is false. So that's why what it do, current variable. So as the variable has been decremented, instead of 10 greater than 0, after that variable value now become as 9. 9 equal to 5, condition is false. So it will continue, is equal to false. That means the condition is false. So it will be current variable as 9. Next, 9 greater than, it will check with the condition. Here first 10 greater than 0, after that 9 greater than 0, condition is true. So entering, first it will be 9, now it becomes as 8. 8 equal to 5, condition false. So this won't be executed, it will print 8. Now the variable will be 8. So 8 greater than 0, condition is true. So now variable becomes variable minus 1, 7. 7 equal to 5. 7 equal to 5, false. So that's why it prints 7. Now it will become 7 greater than 0. So it will, variable become 6. 6 equal to 5, condition false. So it will print 6. Now 6 greater than 0, condition is true. So variable become 5. 5 equal to 5, condition is true. So continue. So now it won't execute this particular statement. When var equal to 5, this statement will not be executed, right? So it will skip and it goes with the, again with the condition checking. Now 5 greater than 0, condition is true. Var equal to 4. 4 equal to 5, condition is 4 equal to 5, false. So that's why it will print 4. Next, 4 greater than 0, condition is true. Now it becomes 3. 3 equal to 5, condition is false. So that's why it will print 3. Now it will become 3 greater than 0, condition is true. Variable now becomes as a 2. So that's why 2 equal to 5, false. That's why it will print 2. Again 2 greater than 0, condition is true. So variable now become as 1. 1 equal to 5, condition false. So it will print 1. Now 1 greater than 0, condition is true. Variable become as 0. 0 equal to 5, condition false. So it will print 0. Like that it goes on checking with the condition. If this particular if condition is true, then it will the interpreter has encountered the continue. Then in such case the loop statement will not be executed. It will skip the iteration. It goes back with the condition checking, right? So this is the main difference between the break and continue. So if we have the break and if it is true, it will exit from the loop. If we have the continue, then instead of exiting, it goes back to the test expression within the loop. So that means it will iterate to the next step. So it will skip only the current iteration. It will continue with the loop again and again. What? Continue. So continue will skip the current iteration. It will continue with the test condition. Whereas a break, it will exit from the loop when the condition is satisfied, and when the interpreter encounters a break, it will exit from the loop. So up to what the condition has been satisfied, up to that the statements in the loop will be executed. After that it will exit from the loop, right? So the same program here, let's see the difference. So here Python, P has printed P equal to H, false. P equal to H, false. So the break, it won't get executed, it will print P. Next Y equal to H, false. So print Y. Next T equal to H, false. So it will print T. Next H equal to H, condition is true. So it will, this statement will not be executed when H equal to H comes out of the loop. Outside the loop will be printed. The same program, P equal to H, condition false, so letter will be printed. P equal to Y equal to H, condition false, so it will print Y. T equal to H, false, so it will print T. H equal to H, condition is true, so it will continue. This statement will not be executed, it goes back to the loop. So here it comes out of the loop, here it goes back to the loop. That is the only difference. So here it skips only one iteration, but here it skips all the iterations when the condition is true. That is the only difference between the break and continue. And coming to the pass statement, which is used when the statement is required syntactically, but you don't want any command or a code to execute. So there might be some situations where you will be blank or where you will be blocked. You don't want to write the code at that moment. You want to just skip it and you want to write in the future. In that case, you will be using the pass. So it's a null operation. So this statement will be whenever you keep the pass, up to that the program execution will be done and it will print the output for you. So the pass statement will be helpful for you to rewrite the code in the future. So it will be acting like a placeholder where you can remove the keyword pass and you can write the code where you want to write in the future. So the pass statement is also useful in places where your code will eventually go but has not been written yet. This is the best syntax for writing the passes. Just use a keyword pass. So this is a null statement. So comment is also a null statement, but there is some difference between a comment and pass statement in Python. Interpreter ignores the comment, but pass is not ignored. It will execute the pass. So nothing happens when pass is executed. It results into no operation. That means only it's meant like, so you are telling the interpreter that I will write this code in the future. So just execute the statements, just pass on to the next statements in the program. So this particular set I will write in the future. It will be acting like a placeholder, right? So a good way to use a pass is to hold the place of a code that isn't ready and hasn't been written yet. So you're not ready to write the code. In that case, you can just use a pass, right? So up to that the program will be executed, and up to that the execution will be done, and if there are any errors it will display. So just if you keep the pass at the particular place, at that place, from that place the interpreter comes to know that this particular place is meant for the future. So here the programmer will come again and he will write. So that is what it understands, and it will let your program execute successfully up to where you have written the pass. Often it takes the place of the loops or the functions. We generally use it as a placeholder. So to use it, just let us see. So I have written the code. So count equal to 0, and I have mentioned some count less than 4. Condition is true. After that, I don't want to write the code as of now. I just want to finish it after some time. Then that's why what I have mentioned, pass. So if you run this code, if there are any errors, it will show the error. If there are no errors, then it just wait for your code. Interpreter won't display any error. It won't give any warning to you. It will wait until you write the code. So what you have to do is, in the future, just remove this pass keyword and you can write the code whatever you want. So to use it, you just need to type the word pass where you would normally insert any code. So to see it in the context, this is an example. Okay. whenever you execute, the code hasn't been finished. So even though the code hasn't finished, if you want to move on to something else and go back to it later, then in such case you can just use pass, right? At this moment, if you don't want to do anything, then just keep pass. That's it. So this is the best way of programming. So no need of writing whatever the code you want. So just you can relax and you can go to the same program in the future and you can mention the code itself. So after thinking, after meanwhile, you can go and you can mention the code what you want, right? So simple program here. I have taken two variables, a equal to 10, b equal to 10, and then I have considered a loop I in range of 3, right? So just I will be initialized with the 0, which is in the range of, if you mention the range of 3, 0 comma 1 comma 2, these are the values I have. So 0 in this range, yes, condition is true. So I have just mentioned pass. So here I haven't mentioned any code, so that's why it will be executed, the code will be executed, but this context, it won't give any error for me. It just passes on, and it will go to this particular specific location, and 10 equal to 10 condition is true, so it just printed a and b are equal. That statement it has printed, but here it is not giving any error message. Remember, as I mentioned pass here, so it is thinking like the suit for the for loop is meant for the future purpose. So here the interpreter will execute the remaining code and it will print the output for you. It is not giving any error. To avoid that, you can keep the pass keyword, right? Thank you. So this is all about the Python loop control statements.